What does time mean to you? Time to me means money. It's a pretty simple formula if you break it down, right? Time equals money. With these 5 quick kitchen tips, I'm gonna teach you from my experience cooking in the Coast Guard as a salty chef for a couple hundred salty sailors. It's gonna save you just that, time and money. We'll start with the first tip right here. Easy one, how to peel a banana. Don't peel it from the top, instead peel it from the bottom. Kind of like the chimpanzees do, or at least that's what I've heard. You just pinch the bottom and peel it. Way easier, way simpler. Tastes just the same too. Might save you a little bit of time and money. Just a little joke though, that's not part of the 5 tips. We'll call that a bonus tip just for free. I'll throw that in. But stay tuned for the 5 tips that will save you time and money in the kitchen. All right, these 5 tips today, they're pretty easy. You might know a few of them, you might not. The first tip is gonna be pretty simple. Label everything. That means label everything in your fridge. The importance of labeling food in the kitchen is gonna save you time because you're not gonna have to second guess when things are about to go bad or not. It's also gonna save you on catching any kind of foodborne illness, right? We got these tomatoes here, for instance. Nice cherry tomatoes, put in the fridge, February 7th. I know these have about a couple weeks left on them or so, right? Maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks tops before I have to toss them out. If I didn't label that, I'd be thinking, oh man, you know, did I put them in last week? Did I put them in a couple weeks ago? Instead, I can just quickly check the label. More importantly, my wife or anybody else cooking in my kitchen can check the label and they can know. They don't have to text me or call me and ask what's been in my fridge. So, really simple. You can get these really cheap on Amazon or your local store or whatever. Food labels. I really just put the name of the food item and the date I put in the fridge. So we got this meal prep container here, which to be honest, I forgot to label. I think I made it 4 or 5 days ago. So we're gonna put that down. So food prep, we're gonna write on the container and we're gonna put on here February 2nd. It's as simple as that. We're just gonna stamp it on top and we're gonna set it in the fridge, and this is gonna save us time and money. Money also because now me thinking, oh, maybe if I made this 5-6 days ago or so, this is probably bad, so I'm gonna toss this out. I don't wanna risk catching any foodborne illness, so I'm gonna just throw it out. So instead of that, now I can actually check the date and see February 2nd, okay. It's got 4 or 5 days before I have to actually throw it out. Saving you time and money. Second tip is gonna be to clean your condiment tops. All right, nothing worse than a bunch of dirty condiment tops on the mess deck. You know, at any given time for a crew of about 150, 200 sailors, we would have maybe 50 condiments out at a time. They get nice and crusty all along the top. It's just kind of gross in general, but if you clean them off, it's gonna save you a little money because it's gonna extend the shelf life of your sauce, right? It's gonna seal a little better, it's gonna look a little better, you're gonna be less likely to throw it out probably. It's just altogether a good thing to do, right? All we need is a little hot water, a cloth or a paper towel, and we're just gonna circle around. It takes, you know, a few seconds or so. We used to task the mess cooks on our ship with this job, or we'd help them do it a little bit, but mainly they do it. They probably hate me for talking about this, but you know, they'd be sitting out there for 30 minutes or so and they'd clean all of them and put them out, and it just makes the crew so much happier. It's such a simple thing to do, but it really does the trick, right? You do this with everything. Anything that has a jar, it always gets that crust that builds up. Just dip a little hot water in, clean it off. I do this weekly, or I should do it weekly. So my Cholula bottle is already clean, so I'm not using it for this example, but on the ship, we'd go through a few hundred a patrol. It was nuts. We ran out of Cholula on the ship, there'd be riots. I probably would have been thrown overboard, to be honest. Third tip is gonna be to stand close to your counter space. A few years cooking on ships taught me a few things about preserving my body. My body's pretty fucked up, to be honest, cooking for a few years out at sea, high seas, right, and bad environments, long days. But I still picked up a few things that are gonna help you save your body, inevitably save you time and money. Time, because you're gonna be cooking a lot more efficient. Money, you're not gonna have to spend it on ice packs to heal up your wounds. So anyways, so we're cutting right now, right? We're a little hunched over, my neck, my shoulders, my lower back. We're just bent over enough because this negative space right here, about an inch, inch and a half, there's no need for that. Instead, we're gonna solve it. We're gonna scoot the cutting board close to the counter. Now, we're able to sit up a little better, flatten our back, neck's not as bent. It's gonna save you a ton of stress on your body. So please listen to this tip, save your body. Fourth tip is going to be to use a wet paper towel underneath your cutting board. Do me a favor, comment below if this has happened to you before. You're cutting, you're trying not to lose a finger because your cutting board's moving around rapidly, it's all crazy. We don't want that. I know I like my fingers, I'm personally attached to them, I bet you are too. So instead of that, it's a pretty simple trick. We're going to tear off some paper towel, we're going to wet it so it's wet enough to squeeze out just a little. We're going to lift up our cutting board, we're going to throw this underneath it. Now, it's not gonna move, it's nice and safe. I can try pretty hard, I'm a strong guy. I end up moving my whole butcher block instead of the actual cutting board on that, right? So, save yourself some time by not having to wrangle your cutting board and just throw a wet paper towel under it like I did. Share this tip with your friends and family if you like their fingers, which I'm sure they do. Let's save the world. Well, at least save the fingers in the world together, okay? The fifth tip is going to be to keep a waste container nearby your workstation. All right, to speed up our prep work in the kitchen, we only need two simple tools: a container of your choice and a bench scraper. These two items together, they're not much money, 10, 15 bucks combined, something like that. They're going to save us a lot of time and energy though in the kitchen. So we're prepping our pepper, for instance, right? We're slicing off the bottom, the sides, we're going to slice off the top and save the top for veggie stew or whatever, composting, right? So we got these two pieces. So instead of just tossing them to the side and making more mess in your space, which is gonna extend your time prep work in the kitchen, which we don't want, we're trying to reduce that, remember, to save that money. Instead, we're gonna use this little bench scraper, which makes it even easier to pick up than scooping up, right? We get some shit if we do it that way. Use the bench scraper, put it in your scrap pile. Now we can do the same thing with this guy, you know? We throw the peppers to the side for a second. We're gonna cut the ends off our squash. And same thing, just scoop up and put in your waste container. We're gonna put this to the side, and it really saves a lot of time and energy. It seems simple, but it saves a lot of mess too. So instead of having these pepper pieces all over, getting their seeds everywhere, causing a mess, right? Now I have left room to put the good peppers if this thing's in the way. Just all encompassing, saves time and money. It's an easy tip. All right, so I need your help to help me grow my better known business. And to do this, you're gonna have to do a couple things for me. Can you please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That'll help me grow my channel, focus on building more content for you. Watch a couple videos on there too, leave a comment or two. It helps me with engagement, and it helps me spend more time with what I love doing, is teaching you quick kitchen tips like this.